All right, strap in everyone. We are going deep today.
Deep dive time.
That's right. A deep dive into Attack on Titan.
I'm excited for this one.
Me too. And we're not just going to like recap the plot or anything, right?
Yeah.
We're going deeper, like
Yeah.
way deeper.
Beyond the surface level.
Exactly. Beyond the Titans, beyond those epic fights, all that.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, but like there's just so much more to it, right?
Absolutely. So much more.
And luckily, we've got this awesome conversation between two superfans as like our roadmap.
Oh, perfect. I love that.
Yeah, they're getting into all the really juicy stuff.
This Josie, how?
Like, well, they're asking these big questions about fate and free will.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Right. And the cyclical nature of war. Like, does it ever really end?
Stuff that really makes you think, even after you finish the series.
For sure. For sure. So let's use their conversation as a jumping off point and unpack some of this, okay?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So, like, right off the bat in our source material, these fans, they're pointing out how Attack on Titan, it doesn't stay put,
It evolves, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. It evolves. Like, at first, you think it's just this simple story, right? Humans versus monsters, good guys versus bad guys.
Classic.
Yeah, total classic. But then
it gets complicated.
oh, it gets so complicated. And that's part of what makes it so brilliant, right?
I think so. It's like, how a lot of stories, they use these fantastical elements
Yeah.
to kind of hold a mirror up to our own world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like make us think about real stuff.
Exactly. And Attack on Titan, it uses these terrifying titans to like force us to confront some uncomfortable truths.
Okay, like what kinds of truths?
I mean, truths about humanity, about conflict, about ourselves even,
Oh, deep. And the fans totally pick up on that, right?
Yeah.
I talk about that crazy twist where, like, you think the Titans are the ultimate bad guys, but then bam, right. The real conflict, it's within humanity itself.
Mind blown.
Right. Like, that's got to mess with your head a little bit.
Totally. It's like the rug gets pulled out from under you.
And then you got to reevaluate everything.
Right. Everything you thought you knew.
Suddenly the good guys and the bad guys, they're not so clear-cut anymore.
Nope, not at all. And then you start to see how even characters with good intentions, they can get caught up in this cycle of violence, and they become like the very thing that they were fighting against.
It's heavy, man. And the fans, they really zero in on Eren Yeager, the main character.
Oh, yeah, Eren, he's fascinating.
Right, and they're debating, like, his whole journey,
Hey, Will.
How does this kid, who is so desperate for freedom, end up... Oh, well, I don't want to spoil anything.
Right.
But he basically becomes a slave to this awful destiny.
It's rough.
It's really rough. And the fans, they're wrestling with that.
They're trying to figure it out?
Yeah, like, was he always going to end up this way?
Right. Was it inevitable?
Or were there choices he could have made?
Yeah. The classic fate versus free will dilemma.
Exactly. Did he have any real control over his life?
Or was he just playing a part in some bigger plan? That's the question.
That's the big question. And that tension, that question, it's like woven through the entire story.
Totally.
And then you've got Armin, who's like the total opposite of Eren.
Oh, yeah, Armin the strategist.
Right. And one of the fans even says, and it's like the show is asking us.
Asking us what?
Like, which approach is right?
Oh, interesting.
Brute force, like Eren's style. Or diplomacy, negotiation, trying to talk things out like Armin.
Right, totally different approaches.
And neither path is easy, right? And there's no guarantee either way will work.
Exactly. It's like, what would you do?
Right. What would you do in that situation?
Makes you think.
It really does. And that's what makes the show so compelling.
Absolutely. It's not giving us easy answers.
It's forcing us to, like, deal with the messy reality.
The complexity of conflict.
Yeah. And the different ways that people respond to threats. And the fact that sometimes even good intentions.
Sometimes even good intentions can backfire.
Totally. And speaking of tough choices, the fans keep bringing up Mikasa.
Oh, yeah, Mikasa.
And that decision she makes at the end.
Right, the big one.
To kill Eren. I mean,
heartbreaking.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. And one of the fans even says it's the most selfless act in the whole series.
It's huge. It speaks to the power of, like, breaking free from toxic attachments.
Oh, wow.
Even the people we love, and choosing peace, but it comes at a huge cost.
Oh, yeah.
A huge sacrifice.
It makes you wonder how far you would go to stop the cycle of violence.
Right. What would you be willing to sacrifice?
And then you have characters like Levi and Erwin, who the fans describe as epic.
I get that.
I mean, yeah, their actions are definitely larger than life, but it's not easy to watch, right?
No, it's not a feel-good movie, Attack on Titan. It portrays war and all its brutality, It makes you acknowledge the consequences, like the ripple effect of violence.
And the scars it leaves behind.
On everyone, individuals and societies.
Even those epic moments, they come at a steep price.
Always, always.
And in the end, the fans, they realize Attack on Titan is not just about, who can throw the coolest punch.
Or who can slay the biggest titan.
Right. It's about questioning whether true freedom is even possible in a world that's defined by conflict.
And the weight of history.
Exactly. It's about those gray areas.
Where right and wrong get blurry.
And that's what makes it stick with you,
Makes it linger in your mind.
long after the credits roll.
It's not about answers.
It's about asking the hard questions.
The uncomfortable questions.
About ourselves, about the world.
Makes you think.
So, what does all this mean for you listening out there? I think Attack on Titan stays with us because it dares to go there.
Dares to go deep.
It makes us face these hard truths about humanity.
About ourselves.
About the choices we make.
And it doesn't give us any easy answers.
It wants us to think critically, question our assumptions.
And really look at the complexity of the world.
Absolutely. So here's a final thought for you to ponder. If you were in Aaron's shoes, facing what seems like unavoidable destruction, what would you choose?
What would you do?
Would you fight, even if it meant more violence? What would it take to break the cycle? It's a conversation worth having, so keep thinking about it.
Let us know your thoughts.
And until next time, stay curious.